And just like that, the white stripes became orange. Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for the latest Bengals news right here on YouTube. Posted Josh Tupou and Ted Karras today. If you missed those, if you missed all of our locker room reaction following Thursday night's 27-15 win over the Miami Dolphins, well, make sure you check all of that out, including our stand-up afterwards with Elise Jesse. Elise and I talked for about 11 minutes about the Bengals' big win, getting to 2-2. And I just got out of Zac Taylor's news conference. I just got out of the Bengals locker room. Let's start with some injury updates before we get into what Zac Taylor said and we hear from the Bengals head coach. First things first, injury-wise, Tee Higgins had that ankle wrap today. He is dealing with a sprain, was walking with a noticeable limp. It was okay. It was fine, but he did have it wrapped. Devin Asiasi was in a boot, and it's maintenance essentially for both of those guys, according to Zac Taylor. It doesn't sound like they're in danger of missing week 5, but certainly you want to get them as healthy as possible, having the next 3 days off. And the players had the day off today. They did have one meeting, and they had to get their post-game lift in, their day after the game lift in to get some soreness out, which is normal. It's part of the typical protocol. But overall, health-wise, that's about it. Nothing else came up. The Bengals do have 2 roster spots that are about to open up. One, they put DJ Reader on injured reserve. Zac Taylor added, as far as a timetable, they're not sure. I've been told 6 weeks-ish. And so I maybe before the bye, certainly could happen after the bye. We'll see what happens there. But Drew Sample, who underwent surgery earlier this week in Dallas, going to return to Cincinnati over the weekend, start rehab, start getting going. But he's likely out for the season and going to be placed on injured reserve early next week. So the Bengals could promote a guy like Tyson Anderson, but they don't really need a safety right now. I think he's getting close to ready to go. They could promote Joe Bacci, the linebacker, but do you need a linebacker on the active roster? So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with those spots. That said, a focus of today was certainly the run game and the lack of explosion in the run game and the lack of consistency in the run game and, honestly, the lack of efficiency in the run game. And I could just keep going on and using words to describe it. But your eyes tell you that, right? 2.2 yards per carry on Thursday night is unacceptable. Certainly not what the Bengals are hoping for. And Zac Taylor praised the defensive front of the Miami Dolphins, but also admits that they're working really hard to try to get it fixed because this Bengals run game, while they probably don't need it to be great, they need it to be better than it's been through 4 weeks.
I thought Joe played really well yesterday, to be honest with you. You know, it's there's one he might have gotten tripped on. Probably the biggest run of the day, he legit got tripped. And that was going to be a one-on-one with the safety in the open field. And then you're talking about, you know, that was potentially going to be an explosive run. That didn't happen. But I thought he did a nice job hitting the holes. And you know, it's some miscommunication on one goal line run down there. We had an unblocked player. We shouldn't have. You know, that may have been a chance on one of those key short yardage goal line runs to get in. Didn't quite happen. You know, there's sometimes we're just down there on the inch-yard line. You know, it's a great run, great surge, and then here we are, 3rd and goal on the inch. And we knew it was a challenge. We'd seen Buffalo go 4 and out inside the 5 last week. We saw Baltimore go 4 and out on the 1, you know. And so we knew it was a challenge, and we had a great plan there. And fortunately, the goal line pass worked out for us because we'd seen that's a good chance. That's as good chance as any because we've seen teams getting heavy packages and just get stoned down there. So we knew that they had a good defense. I got a lot of respect, especially for not only the entirety of the defense, but that front. It's physical. They play tough. They got a lot of guys to roll through there, and it's a really good unit. And unfortunately, it comes at a time when we haven't had tremendous production in the run game. So then you play a good front. That's a challenge, and they're going to make it a challenge. And then you have limited production. So then you got to answer the questions that come with that. I get it, but I still got a lot of confidence in our guys that we'll get that thing going.
One area that the Bengals certainly liked what they saw from the offensive line was pass blocking. And so I want to get to that in just a second. But to me, and we'll probably get more of this from Joe Goodberry on Tuesday night on Bengals on the Brain, but Joe Mixon just doesn't look right. And got tripped up, like Zac said during his news conference, on an easy, to me, it would be easy, run through the whole air type scenario where if he just picks his feet up at the line of scrimmage, He runs through the hole, and he's one-on-one with Javon Holland, and who knows, maybe that turns into a big, big play. And instead, it was like a 2-yard gain where he tripped, and no one truly tackled him. He tripped because there were feet in the hole, and the hole wasn't wide open. So we'll see if Joe Mixon can get things turned around. This Bengals offensive line obviously was a hot-button topic all offseason. It's been a hot-button topic all season long. And, well, Joe Burrow praised them yesterday, and you can watch Joe Burrow's entire news conference right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. But he praised them, and so I asked Zac Taylor about that group and how they performed on Thursday after Zac Taylor went back and watched the tape.
Yeah, I thought they did really good. I thought that was great protection. That can be a tough front, with some of the five-man looks they're going to give you, and they're going to press you. I thought the backs stepped up too, and did a really nice job. I thought the tight ends weren't necessarily in the primary part of the protection, but they had to check some of those edges sometimes. I thought they did a good job helping us there. So we certainly got exactly what we needed to be able to be effective in the pass game, and so I thought they did a nice job. I thought they did a nice job last week. I think that they're continuing to get better and better every week.
Overall, I didn't think that the offense in general looked that crisp, and I talked about this on Locked On Bengals. I think those explosive plays were great makeup. That they hid the flaws, they hid the blemishes, and you look up and Joe Burrow has a 114, 115 quarterback rating. He's 20 of 31. He's connected on throws of 36 yards or more with 3 different receivers, has the 59-yard touchdown, the 36-yard play to Chase, 43 yards to Boyd. And so those explosive they hide some things, and he's 20 of 31 for 287 and 2 tutties. But that's kind of how they were last year too. And so don't press panic yet on this offense. I think it sometimes it takes time for offense, and the Joe Burrow surgery and the appendectomy, who knows what it is. Maybe they just not hitting their stride. The thing that I continue to take away, and I said this during our post-game wrap-up with Elise, but it's different when you have to work on things when you win. When you win and you got to clean things up, it's like, okay, well, at least you got the win. And so I'm encouraged by it, because if you can win and the offense isn't playing the way they expect to or we expect them to, well, that's kind of a bonus. It's kind of all right, well, we're not playing up to our standards yet, but you're still getting wins and continuing to rack them up. So now we'll see if they can keep it up. I think they need to improve before Baltimore and be better and play their best game of the season against Baltimore if they're going to improve to 3-2. But strides in the right direction, steps in the right direction. I do agree with Zach. I think the offensive line has gotten better in pass protection. I do think that they're bonding. Ted Karras walking in today, and who's next to him? Alex Kappa, Jonah Williams. They walk in after their lift. Who comes in after that? Cordell Volson. All 4 guys were hanging around each other, and their lockers are right next to each other. And by the way, people are going to say, well, where's La'el Collins? Guys were filing in and out all throughout the day. So La'el Collins could have been in the locker room when I wasn't seeing it or whatever. But those 4 guys were together. They were talking. They were joking. And I think it's coming together a bit there. So the concern will be, is Joe Mixon, is it health for the run game? Is it something else? We'll see. Pass game-wise, I have no doubts that Joe Burrow is going to continue to get better. I have no doubts that this offense can be one of the best offenses in the NFL. Do they need to improve? Absolutely. And we're going to see if they can do that in the coming days and weeks. But overall, I think that this Bengals team, if you would have told me in Dallas after they fell to 0-2 that they'd find a way to outscore opponents 54-27, double them up, I think everybody would have taken it. And that's what they did. 27-12 against the Jets, didn't allow a touchdown. 27-15 right here at Paycor Stadium last night. Bengals improve to 2-2 on the year. And just like that, they're just one game behind in the AFC standings. Not the AFC North standings. They are a game behind in the AFC North, but in the AFC standings. And so who knows? Maybe the Steelers lose this week, right? Maybe the Jets get it done. Maybe teams like that get it done, and the Bengals are suddenly looking at playing for first place next week against the Ravens, which they could do, but if the Ravens lose this week, it would certainly go a long way in helping their case. For more, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. If you're wanting to wager on games because you're going to be able to watch Red Zone and not focus just on the Bengals this week, I get to watch Red Zone this week. Ooh, well, guess where I'm going to go? MyBookie. Use promo code BengalsTalk. Also, if you're trying to get some orange and black gear, orange and black gear, go to rivertowninquiry.com. Make sure you support our sponsors. It helps the channel, and it helps us continue to bring you the best Bengals coverage on YouTube. So, for Andrew Fox Miller, our channel coordinator, I'm James Rapien, signing off. Happy Friday at Paycor Stadium right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.